What's going down, guys? It's your boy DJ Marcellus, though, back again with another video. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up SoundSwitch with Capture, a 3D visualizer. So Capture is one of my favorite 3D visualizers, mainly because of its user interface. It is simple, easy to use and understand, and kind of design your plot, build out your show, etc, etc. So I'm going to jump over here to show you guys Capture. So here, go to Capture website. They do got Capture Mobile, some components. They are partnered with Atlas, so we are currently working with Atlas and Capture to ensure that all of both lighting products are in all DMX softwares 100%. The way you buy your license is based off of how many universes you want. So right now we have 2 universes in our subscription. I believe it's like $4.49 per universe. Can use it on Windows and Mac. They have some sample projects here you can download, and then they also update the library every so often, so you can come here and get that library from Atlas like I was talking about. This DMX software we're going to be setting up today with Capture is SoundSwitch. Now, for any of you all who are not into DMX or not yet using SoundSwitch, as a mobile event guy, I highly recommend SoundSwitch, as it's the most user-friendly, kind of like Capture. And it doesn't really require you to have a lighting tech or a second computer. And that was one of the main reasons why I got on SoundSwitch when it first came out, where they had the box with the halo ring underneath. That was like $500 for one universe. Now you can get 2 universes with controls on the Control 1 for $300. So SoundSwitch, probably the best DJ friendly, mobile friendly lighting setup in my opinion. But getting into it, we're going to go ahead and set up a new Capture project. At the end of this video, I'll show you guys a little demo of how everything looks in the project that we got. Now, going over the general interface of Capture, you have 3 different views here: your alpha view, your beta view, and your gamma view. And then you have all your project information and editing in the bottom right quadrant. If you hit the 3 little lines here, you can change these views between wireframe, plot, and live. So I'm going to put one on plot view, keep that on wireframe, and then I'm going to make this my live view here. So once you have your few views up in your project data, this is where you will import your fixtures, import your layers, if you want to change the color of the wall. So a real good use for Vizualizer, not only programming, but providing demos for your clients. So we work with a venue here in North Carolina, and we do a lot of corporate events with them. We have a decent amount of clients who want to do lighting upgrades, pipe and drape, projector screens, uplighting throughout the room, stage wash lighting, and they want to see how is that going to look in a room. You know, even monograms, they want to see all that stuff and how it's going to look in a room. So what we're doing is working with our venue to get a 3D layout of their venue so we can import it and provide a more live HD version of how it will look in that specific venue for any of our clients' requests. So a great way of providing demos for your higher end clients who expect to kind of see those things. This is where you update all your project information. So you got a gobo list here, frame list, materials, your scene, so you can set up different scenes. Camera positions, you can save and add camera positions so you're not jumping around in the project. But a lot of this stuff, as just a general programmer, not necessarily doing anything too huge just yet. I practically really only use my fixture libraries and like my fixture groups here. To do that, first we need to kind of build out our floor plan or our room. Now there are multiple ways you can go about building out a floor plan in a room. In our both lighting project, I made a floor plan with just some walls and made it a block room, but there are multiple softwares out there that you can then get to download floor plans. So for this demo, that's what I decided to do. And some of them softwares or websites that I use to get some of my 3D models from is Fab. Fab is partnered with Unity, Unreal Engine, and like Fortnite. So it's a part of Epic Games. So you can go on there. Now, Sketchfab was the website that I originally used. You can practically search for just about anything you want in here. So I'll show you the two models that I will be using in this demo, and we will have those linked down below in the description. But you can search for anything that you want here on Sketchfab as well. The reason Fab is available now is because anything you pull up on Sketchfab will send you over to Fab to actually download the file. So that's why I recently just found out about fab.com. And then last one I got for you is 3D Warehouse. So 3D Warehouse is kind of the same thing. It provides SketchUp files and 3D models that you can then import into your Vizualizer to use. So the two files that I will be using today is this DJ booth here, because a lot of us use a podium style DJ booth. You know, I want to see how my light show will look with a podium style DJ booth. And then I found this venue here, the Great Hall at the Hellenic Century in London. It's two different venue spaces, and if you turn around here, you can see this venue space just doesn't pretty much have a back wall, and this is a full-on closed off venue space. And you can even zoom in here and see how that venue space will look and move around. So pretty cool basic venue space for us to use for this demo. Not too crazy large, but also not too crazy small. So I would say this is roughly a general venue layout. So this is what we got today for this demo. So I'm going to show you how to import both of those and then start importing your lights and getting those set up. So I got both of these files already downloaded in my downloads. So we're going to head back over to Capture. When we go to Capture, we're going to go click on File in the top left corner, Import Model. And I'm already on that download, so I extracted it in my downloads folder. I'm going to click on that downloads folder and import this GLTF file. So once that GLTF file is imported, it's allowing me to do a selection here. Unfortunately, I can only select the full venue. So I'm just going to drag that over into my wireframe view. And to drag that over, you can see here, use the drag button of the navigation to drag and drop the selected item into your design. So we're just going to use this little button here and drag it over into our design. Now I'm just going to drag it in there right now. So you can see how here it's kind of placed on our x-axis right here. So we kind of want to place it on our center axis in the main view. So you can click place at original position or place here. Now if you do click place here, you can move this afterwards since it is all one project file. I'm just going to place at original. So now I can exit off of this model since I already imported it. Alrighty, once you have your models imported, now you can start kind of designing your show and your floor plan of all your gear and equipment. So as you can tell here in my live view, I cannot see anything. So what we're going to do is jump over here to view. And since our live view is on our gamma view, we're going to look for that gamma view and go down to camera and ambient lighting. So we're going to turn our ambient lighting all the way up so that our venue is lit. You can change the ambient lighting color, so if you want more like a warm white or something, we can adjust that to a warm white. And now you can see in our live view, we can see our two venue spaces. So we're going to use this venue space over here to the left with the floor. And to get into this venue space, we're just going to zoom in. And now you can see we're in this venue space. We control click, look around. We can see everything in this venue space. The cool thing about this file is it has multiple areas. So if the couple got you setting up here, you can put your DJ booth up there. Couple got you setting up in the main area, you can set your DJ booth down here. So it kind of give you a good view of the two different scenario types. I don't know how often you guys are getting set up in balconies, but I at least get like 3 events a year where I'm getting set up in the balcony. Next, what we want to do is start building out our lights in our room. So for this demo, I'm going to use 4 360 tubes with no stand, 2 Aurora 1915s, and then 16 uplight. I would say that is a general DJ setup for a lot of us mobile guys now. A pair of movers, some uplights, and potentially some tubes. I want to go ahead and import that DJ booth that I was talking about earlier. So to import that is just like importing a venue. You want to click on File, Import Model, and then go to your downloads and find that model that you're trying to import. So I'm just going to open that up. It's going to give me my same guide again and everything. I'm going to go ahead and just drag this into my venue down here. We're just going to place it there. Now we're going to exit this off. We're going to double click on the gamma view to pull up the live view large. And now we can see our DJ booth. I'm going to go along this wall over here. Keep this wall open. And let's just imagine that all around the room there's tables throughout here. So we're going to put our DJ setup along this wall. So I'm just going to drag this fixture. You shift click, it gives you a little bit more controls. You can zoom in. Now this is where I like jumping over to the plot view here to adjust my fixtures. So I'm going to switch my camera to the top view. So show top. Now I can see my table there, and I want to turn my table. So you use this little triangle here with the 2 lines to kind of turn your fixture. So now I'm going to turn my table, and you see how that's disconnecting. So if you hit the settings icon on the fixture, it will allow you to group all those layers. So we're going to group that, and now when you see that I turn the fixture, that everything turns, not just the individual parts on their axis. So we're going to turn this to a 90-degree angle, drag it over here, and set it up. So now I want to see that I'm like in the middle of this wall here. So I'm just going to scroll it over and then kind of move my booth to roughly where I would want it. And then we can turn and scoot over and see how close to the wall, because you know we're not usually that close to the wall. So we're going to just bring that out a little bit. So now we can hit escape and deselect, and we have our DJ booth set up. So now that we got our DJ booth in there, let's go ahead and add some speakers in there. So we're going to come over here to library. Once you come in library, you can search for different objects inside the library. Let's click on objects and type in speakers. So you can see they got different type of speakers here, from your standard line array to some column arrays. Since a lot of us DJs are using column arrays, I'm just going to drag in 2 column arrays here. So I wouldn't necessarily call this a column array setup. This is just your sub and top cabinet, but we're going to keep this. So we're going to add both of those in there, and then we're just going to check our location. So we see we need to move this one closer towards the floor. Move that one closer towards the floor. Slide that over. Now this is where the plot view really kind of comes in play, or the wireframe view, is it really lets you line up a lot of your stuff. So you can see here how as I'm moving that it's giving me my locking grid, kind of like Canva or CapCut if you all ever used any of those. But now we're just going to line this up and lock it in a grid. As you can tell here in the wireframe view, there's all these little lines here. You can use these lines as your measurement to make sure your booth and your speakers is lined up. So what I'm going to do here is count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines over from my booth, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, roughly 6 lines up from my booth. So I'm just going to line that up there on that axis. Then we're going to do the same thing on this side. So now you can see we got our speaker layout here. So we need to bring this one down towards the ground a little bit and it doesn't need to be 100% correct if you're just using this for yourself, but it definitely gives you an idea of what you're working with and how your light should look. So we have our speakers and our booth set up. Now it's time to actually start importing our lighting. So to import our lighting, we want to come back over to our library, hit fixtures, and we're going to search for 360 tubes. And I believe they're in here as the BO tubes. Nope, they're in here, all good, set to go. So we're going to drag in our 360 tube. You can see here that the 360 tube came in horizontal, but we want to put that vertical. So we're going to come back over to design and hit selected item, and then we can adjust our X, Y, and our rotation. So we're going to rotate this on our 90-degree axis by 90, on our X degree by 90. So now our tube is straight up and down. So we want to go ahead and place these tubes. Time to go ahead and place our 4 tubes in a room. And we're just going to place these pretty basically around the DJ setup. So if you hit the gear icon and hit duplicate, you can just duplicate that tube again, and then you can duplicate how many you want. So we need 3 more tubes, so I'm just going to duplicate 3. So you can see there's 2, 3. Now we have all 4 of our tubes there in the program. We got our tubes in. Now we need to add in our uplights. So we're going to do 16 uplights here. We're going to hit escape so we can deselect off that selected item. We can look around our room here. Now we can see those kind of tubes are floating right now. So I'm going to just bring those to the ground here. So once those tubes are to the ground, we're good. Let's bring in our trussing. So if you go back over to library, you can search for trussing. Now they do have a bunch of different brands in here, like us ourselves at Fusion Sound and Lighting. We use Globo Truss, so I'm just going to bring in a truss there. You don't have to get that official with things, so I'm not going to, I'm going to bring in this 8-foot truss section here, but I'm not going to put a base plate on it. So once again, we need to change the orientation. So we're going to come over to our design, selected item, and then scroll down to our rotation. So on our y-axis, just going to throw that on 90, or nope, put that back on 0. On our x-axis, nope, or z-axis, 90. So now we have our upright truss totem. Now I'm just going to put these right outside the speakers. Once again, since I already got my orientation and everything created, I'm just going to duplicate that fixture. Instead of duplicating 3, we're going to duplicate 1. And you can see here, it kind of acts weird based on your camera angle, where your fixtures go, and how much range of motion you have. So just keep that in mind, that you may have to move around your camera angle and stuff some more to get your fixtures actually in the correct orientation, or any of your 3D models. And now I just drag from that pile to place my uplights. For any of your fixtures that you bring in, if you want to see how they look or just turn them on, you can come and hit the little power button, and it'll pop up some settings for you to add in some manual settings here. So I just went ahead and turned that tube on. And now this also shows that my tube is upside down because of the black base on the bottom of the 360 tube. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is swap my rotation to 180 or -90. So now you can see my orientation of my tube is corrected. So now we need to go ahead and do that with the rest of the tubes. I'm just going to turn all of them on until we get them connected into the DMX software. And let's go ahead and turn them uplights on in the totem, because now we can see our uplights is facing upside down. So we want to go ahead and rotate that as well. So negative 180 degrees will get our uplights facing upward. So I'm going to try to click on that other uplight over here. May need to zoom in. You can see it wasn't exactly in that totem. I'm just going to move over a little bit, try to get it exactly in that totem there. Now we know our angle was negative 180. I want to turn the light on just to verify that it's working and everything. So let's go back over to that other totem. You can see that one wasn't necessarily lined up good. So we want to zoom in. Try to line up that fixture. So boom. Now our IR4 is up in there. So besides going and changing all of these fixtures here to negative 180, I'm just going to delete them all. And then I'm going to do this one single again and then switch that to negative 180 and just trigger it on. And now I'm going to duplicate again to save myself a little bit of time. So now we have 2 uplights in our totems, and then we have 14 more uplights to put around the room. So we're going to go ahead and throw one along this back wall over here. Let's turn it on so we can see those rays. So we kind of split these tubes here. We'll bring this guy over here. We can move around, split these tubes here. Let's go ahead and get another uplight on. So as you can see here, I'm adding in a V-Show Aurora 1915. One thing you will start to learn when you really start getting DMX is how many companies use the same DMX channels. So this is a little hack to use fixtures inside of your Vizualizer if they're not already inside of your Vizualizer, is finding a similar fixture profile fixture and importing that into the project. So that's the reason I went ahead and added in this V-Show 1915. So now we want to place those on our movers. We want to go ahead and do our fixture adjustment. So when we rotate that, if it's negative 180, yep. And now we can place that on top of our totem. So just kind of like we did with the uplights and the tubes and everything, we're just going to come over here, mess with our camera angles a little bit until we get this placed on top of our totem. So now we got that placed on top of our totem. We're going to duplicate this fixture. Duplicate one, and we're going to bring it over to this other totem. So we're going to come over to this other totem and try to get this on top of this. So you can see there our screen is on this side, and as you know, the screen needs to be facing forward. So we're going to mess with our rotation a little bit. So it won't be our X rotation, won't be our Y. I mean our Z is going to be our X or our Y. And let's see if that screen is in the front. So no. Negative 90. Boom. Now our screen's in the front. Go ahead. Try to place that in the center. And now that Aurora 1915 is good to go. We can turn it on. Get our lights. And boom. We're going to jump back over to this other Aurora so we can make sure our positions and everything is set. And correct this Aurora. So what we said, it was negative 90 to make that screen front, and we can see there in our little image our screen is facing forward. All right, now we have all our fixtures set up. We want to come over here to our fixture library. So this is where you would patch in your fixtures. So you can click on here and verify all these fixtures are correct. As you may have seen earlier, I added a few that were accident, kind of like that one. So we're going to delete that guy. Our uplights, tubes, and movers are set. We added a few more uplights than we anticipated just due to the room size. So that's one thing for you guys to keep in. But now I'm going to go over adding these fixtures profiles and the channel modes and getting them to work with SoundSwitch. So currently we want to go ahead and pull up SoundSwitch. Once you have SoundSwitch open, there are a few things you need to set up before SoundSwitch starts sending data over to Capture. So you want to click on the settings icon, click on hardware, and then enable ArtNet and localhost ArtNet node. Once those two are enabled, SoundSwitch will start sending data over to your Capture software. And Capture automatically picks it up. You don't have to enable anything. So you want to hit on edit. We're going to jump up here to our DMX window and assign the channels for everything. So we can see our tubes here are running on 80 channel mode. So we're going to go ahead and get those tubes signed up. So I'm going to move the sound switch over to another display. And when we get those tube channels set up. So we got our first tube here. It needs to be in 80 channel mode. And then the patch is 193. And you should see here, once we go to an auto loop, that the tube now changes colors. So we're on the rainbow auto loop now. You can see that tube is now receiving DMX signal. Wherever I jump in this auto loop, that tube is playing what is in the script. So I'm gonna go through and finish patching in the rest of the fixtures here. Now all our fixtures are done inside of our capture here, and we can start messing around in SoundSwitch and programming. So as you can tell, the room is still super bright, and we want to kind of see how that looks. So we're going to go back to that ambient lighting and turn the ambient lighting down, so we can see realistically how that room will look when it's time to party. And you can adjust the bloom, which will show the rays, and also adjust the atmospheric like haze. So you can see the bloom there. We're going to turn that down to about 20%. And then for the haze amount, you need to click on this little cloud here and go to selected item. And then you can choose the smoke speed, the variation, and the softness. So if you adjust the speed, you start seeing a lot of movement in your smoke. You can adjust the density, so if you want a real dent, so you can really see those rays off those washes. And then the variation. So the variation is just how much is the smoke moving around the room. There's going to be areas where there's like a lot of cloud, so you kind of see it over here. Now since we got everything set up, what we want to do here is we're going to go to a wide view and maybe go to like the corner over here, back up. Now we got our wide view of our light show and what we were trying to do. Maybe zoom in just a tad bit, bring it over. Maybe we do a straight view with a wide angle. I want to show you guys a quick clip of how some of the auto loops will look with 360 tubes, IR4s, and Aurora 1915s with a mix going. So I will be using BPM detection and just triggering auto loops.
You don't have to sell your body to the night. Rockstar. You don't. Think you're better off alone? Do you think you?
Alrighty, so there goes how you set up SoundSwitch with Capture. As you can tell, it is a little bit of tedious of a process, but I was able to bust this out in an hour, and now I have a full demo for my light show and a venue with a general setup, and I can come in here, program my lighting without going into the warehouse, setting all this stuff up, and then trying to visually see it from that view. So if you guys are looking for more info on Capture, make sure you like, subscribe, comment below, and make sure you message us at info@bothlightingusa.com if you need some more tips and tricks. But be sure to give your boy a follow at DJ Marcellus though, and I appreciate you for your support. Hopefully you enjoyed the video.